issues or just getting off the grid, you'll never have to suffer through painful power outages again. Even better, all this week, radio listeners get over $700 in free off-the-grid bonuses too. Go to mysolarbackup.com to learn more and check availability. That's mysolarbackup.com. Look for the free report, Crisis Cooling, how to make absolutely sure your meat, milk, and medicines stay safe and cool in any power outage. Yours free at mysolarbackup.com.
Don't you wish fixing your car was simple? Cars today have more tech than the first spaceship that landed on the moon. It's guaranteed that something's going to break, and that's why we have a protection plan through CarShield. Well, when we need a repair, we choose the mechanic, and CarShield administrators take care of everything else. Plans through CarShield even provide rental car options, as well as roadside assistance and trip reimbursement. All that at no extra cost. Getting coverage is as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1, contact CarShield for your free quote. 2, tell them about your vehicle. 3, choose the type of protection you need. That's it. Look, I love my car. I don't want to replace it, even if I did. Used car prices right now are outrageous. New cars are impossible to find. So whether your car has 5,000 or 150,000 miles, CarShield has options to fit your budget. Get coverage today by going to carshield.com/Bubba. Also go to rickandbubba.com. Look for the sponsors link. A deductible may apply.
You're getting ready to move and you work hard. That's why you call Two Men in a Truck, 352-289-0666. You need pros, trained professional moving experts to do the heavy lifting for you. That's why you call Two Men in a Truck, 352-289-0666. They care about your things as much as you do, and they do it fast and right. That's why you call Two Men in a Truck, 352-289-0666. Visit twomeninatruck.com and get moving.
Two Men in a Truck.
Howdy, folks. RL here for Dairy Queen again to tell you about what's hot and what's not. Dairy Queen has some of the best char-grilled chicken breasts on earth, as well as their chicken breast salad. And the burgers are exceptional, cooked on a real grill for the best flavor and less fat. And for dessert, blizzards are unequaled. Personally, banana split is my all-time favorite. Dairy Queen Silver Springs, where we always treat you like kings and queens.
Get it for less at the DIY Home Center outlet. Get top quality real wood cabinets the same or less than the big box stores are selling the cheap stuff. And that's not all. Drywall screws big box stores are $6.47 a pound. At DIY, only $4.99. Plus, DIY has the largest selection of mobile home parts and accessories anywhere. From carpet to doors, get the DIY supplies you need for less. The DIY Home Center outlet. We are your building material closeout store. 2191 Northwest 10th Street, just 2 miles east of I-75.
The Ocala Golf Club, one of Ocala's premier golf courses, from its pristine 18-hole course layout to its amazing pro shop. Jason Linhart and the staff at Ocala Golf offer everything that you need for your golf outing. That's the Ocala Golf Club. Experience country club style golf at municipal prices. You won't go wrong with the Ocala Golf Club. Call them for a tee time today, 352-401-6917.
On the first and third Wednesday mornings each month at 9:05 a.m., Robert Colin with On Top of the World will be our guest as we learn all about the exciting lifestyle and new home choices available at Ocala's premier adult active community, On Top of the World. From time to time, Robert will bring guests, and you're sure to enjoy our little chats. After all, you deserve the world, and we bring it to you.
Hey there, I have a question for you. Is your roof asphalt and does it look like it needs replacement? Did you get quotes and were you in sticker shock? Would you like to save not hundreds, but thousands of dollars? Did you call RoofMax? Well, call RoofMax with their patent-pending technology, which can add years to your roof without needing to replace it. And it's easy. You just pick up the phone for a free quote. Plus, they use state-of-the-art satellite technology to measure your roof. So, if your roof is over 7 years old, then you should call RoofMax today at 352-639-2777. That's 352-639-2777.
Think you know Dex Imaging? Think again. In the office, streamlining communications. In the field, delivering top-notch service, enhancing productivity and reducing downtime. In the data center, a part of the growing digital document revolution. In the world of business, supporting entrepreneurs and helping companies grow. In the forefront of technology, developing cutting-edge document management solutions. So if you think you know Dex Imaging, you don't know Dex.
Now you've done it. Have you lost your mind? He's back. And you're listening again. A legend in his own mind. Don't believe me? Just ask him. Here's Tom Schmitz live on WOCA. The Source.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks. You know, I come across this article this morning and I thought, well, that's just rich. Catherine Belton wrote the article for Reuters. And the headline said, Russia will stop in a moment if Ukraine meets Kremlin terms. So I had to read that. Clickbait, I know, but I had to read it. And Russia told the Ukraine it's ready to halt military operations in a moment, right now, if Kiev meets a list of conditions. And there's only 4 of them. They demand that the Ukraine cease military action. You started it, Russia. How are you going to tell them to stop when you're attacking them? That's the first condition. Cease military activity. Number 2 on the list, change your constitution to say you won't join anything like NATO or the European Union, and that you will welcome neutrality. Also, acknowledge Crimea, a piece of land that was taken from the Ukraine by the Russians. Acknowledge that that's Russian territory. And recognize the areas of Donetsk and Lugansk, which is where the rebel factions have control of the country of Ukraine. Recognize those as independent states. If you do that, this will be stopped in a moment. Huh? So let me get this right. You attack this country. You go in and start military action against it. Your first thing is they got to give up their military action. So they got to let you keep what you're doing, but they're going to quit. Then they have to rewrite their constitution the way you want them to rewrite it. So the Kremlin gets to dictate how the country. So let's put that in perspective. Look, we'll stop the Revolutionary War right now. We will let the United States have whatever it wants as the United States, the 13 colonies, with the British Commonwealth. We will let you have that, all of it right now. But here's what you got to do. You got to stop your war against us, because we're fighting France too. So you got to stop the war. And when you write your constitution on how to govern yourselves, you need to write it the way we tell you to write it. Oh, wait, there's more. Also, you know that area, that's in the Tennessee, Kentucky, North Carolina, Virginia, where all the coal is and everything? Well, you got to give that to us. You got to recognize that that's still part of England. Even though it sits in your country, you got to recognize that's still part of England. And that wild territory of the Shenandoah Valley, Boonesville and everything, and the wild territory of Florida, well, you have to recognize them as their own states. Now, if you do all that, America, us as English will let you have your independence. That's basically what Russia's saying. Good morning. You're on Ocala Talks.
Hey, Tom, it's Mark calling you back. I appreciate you constantly communicating about the Ukraine situation. I think it has a direct influence on us as a nation as well, and I'll tell you why. Just a little bit ago, NATO's agreed to participate in a no-fly zone. What capacity? I don't know.
No, they have not. They have not. They've said that they will send planes to Ukraine. They didn't say that they will do a no-fly zone, but they'll what they're going to do is supply the Ukrainians with planes, and maybe the Ukrainians can then create a no-fly zone over their own country. NATO still hadn't said that we're going to call it a no-fly zone.
I sit corrected. I don't stand corrected. I apologize. But so I support that. And one of the things I read early on is there's a contingent of about 7,000 Americans, ground pounders, that have already been dispatched to supplement a NATO group, even though it wouldn't be Americans' policy with boots on the ground. There would be Americans possibly in harm's way. But that's just my immediate comment. But you can tell that the offer that you're discussing, Tom, wasn't going to be legitimate, because had it been legitimate, all of these offers would have been the demands before the invasion.
Right.
And the two separatist areas that you covered well by making the comparison with the coal region of the United States, not to exclude Montana, but mostly in the southeast here. And a lot of Americans don't realize Birmingham was the steel capital of the South, Steel City. But the two separatist areas are the high mineral areas and the gas. I guess there's huge amounts of natural gas that they're going to claim next. So they intentionally put the separatists there. And if we look at California, where there was a movement of a political movement in the United States recently to divide California because they've got 55 electoral votes.
Right.
They traced some of that money back to Vladimir Putin's people in Russia, and the Russian American involved with that took off, and he's fled back to Russia. These are not jokes. These aren't suppositions. These aren't a hoax. And I'm not saying you've said that, Tom, but this is all very real. It's very right here now.
The fact that the Russians put these 4 demands out, people think that I'm making light of it. It would be just as if the English said, you can have your colonies, but we get the coal mining areas of Virginia, West Virginia, and the Kentucky Valley. We also get Florida and the Tennessee Valley area. We recognize those 2 territories as independent states. And you got to rewrite your Constitution the way we tell you to. And if you do all that, we'll stop the Revolutionary War and we'll recognize you as the United States. That's the exact same thing Russia's doing right now.
Right, Tom. And the other demand was, by the way, what we've already taken from you, you're going to have to go ahead and make that official. And so that's a third component that you've mentioned. These are basically hostage demands. I would liken this circumstance to a home invasion burglary where the guy's trapped in the house and now he wants death by cop.
Right.
And the Americans. Another thing I've read, Tom, is that Vladimir Putin. Even though he was sitting around some stewardesses lately, I haven't read the story on that yet, but that Putin won't even really get physically close to his own defense people.
No, he's worried about germs and everything, this COVID thing and everything. Right. Or he's worried about somebody killing him, one or the other.
Correct, or both. He is supposedly hanging out in the Ural Mountains. So if Americans get bored while they're mowing the grass as it starts to come back, they can look over to the East Coast, because when we launch these satellites, we're going to put some of the satellites right over the Ural Mountains where Putin is, because the Americans know exactly where he is. And I'm calling for that little punk has threatened the West, which is my country. I'm calling for that little punk to get what's called a bunker buster, which is a subterranean limited tactical nuclear warhead put right on his position, just like Osama bin Laden got in Tora Bora. And then I know those Ural Mountains where he hangs out are going to be all impregnated with shoring and rebar, and they're going to be fortified positions. But we have bunker busters that can detonate at various depths. And what would be good about that is now his own citizens in over 52 cities protested this weekend. He's lost control of his people, which he never had. He has no control of his army. They had their own tanks, Tom, shooting at their own tanks, not by accidental fire, but they're shooting it out. And they have their own soldiers puncturing their own gas tanks so they don't go in and get slaughtered. We've taken out 300 of their tanks. We've delivered about 350 of those tank busters. Stingers are showing up, and I don't know if you saw the story on Fox News, which I never watched, but an ammo company out of Wisconsin has just delivered 7.62 rounds to them by the 1 million rounds to them, and pledging more. So,
Richard Childress of Richard Childress Racing is part of that group that sent that ammo, the 1 million rounds.
That's correct. That happens to be the ammunition I actually prefer. So I happen to.
Well, you know, a lot of the weapons that are being. I got to let you go, Mark, but thanks for the call.
Sorry.
A lot of the weapons that are being sent to the Ukraine from NATO countries and all aren't going to the Ukrainian military. They're going to the citizens of Ukraine who are ready to do guerrilla warfare from inside buildings and behind trees and everything. I mean, it's got Red Dawn written all over it. I mean, somebody in the Ukraine is going to stand up and yell Wolverine before too long. I can see it coming. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll wrap up a Monday edition of Ocala Talks. You're listening to 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. It says WOCA, the source.
We wake up